Hello, everyone. This is your host, Alo. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I hope that this episode brings a little bit of light into your day. Today, we're going to be talking about those days where you feel unmotivated, the days when you're honestly not in the mood for anything. And lately, I've been having a lot of those days. I've been feeling as if there's just nothing to look forward to, and every day's the same routine. And also, school online is just draining, and it seems as if it's going to be like this for a while. Probably you're feeling the same way too. And I mean, being in quarantine can be isolating and difficult. And I want to say that I hear you and you're not alone. Realistically, I don't have the answers to everything, but I want to talk more about the pressure of being productive and the lack of motivation that we sometimes experience during these times. And this is the advice that guides me when I find myself in these moments. I want to say that they all stem from a place of love and kindness. And I'm not a therapist or anything, but this is just something that helps me personally and I want to share. Number one would have to be that I try not to feel shame for feeling unmotivated or for not wanting to be productive. Of course, I have deadlines to meet and homework to do, but I remind myself that before anything, I'm human and it's okay to feel that way. I may need to ask for an extension, and I shouldn't feel guilty for that because at that moment, I might just need some time to rest before completing an assignment. And I mean, as long as you're procrastinating responsibly, everything will be fine. Or sometimes I even think that if I'm able to understand why I'm feeling unmotivated or frustrated, then maybe I'll be able to feel motivated again. And this might help in certain cases, but what I've learned is that I shouldn't expect to understand my emotions intellectually because even if I do, those feelings are not going to go away any faster. The truth is that I just sometimes need to be kind to myself and give myself the space and time to remind myself that I don't need to understand it all. Sometimes I might just need to sit down and feel everything through. Like honestly, don't repress emotions just because they make you feel shame. You're allowed to have bad days. Number two, and this is based on a conversation I had with my therapist, where I was explaining to her how frustrating it was that I wasn't able to perform as well in school as I used to, because I mean, of course, we're in a pandemic. And on top of that, taking care of my mental health had just become even more difficult. There's many other things that I talked about as well, but I mean, something that she said that stuck with me was you have to remind yourself that you're running on sand. And of course, things might feel 10 times more difficult because you're not running on flat land, flat land being what we were used to before quarantine. And we sometimes forget that we transitioned into a completely different lifestyle from one week to another, and that change was drastic. And for this reason, we have to be patient with ourselves because we're trying our best given the circumstances, although it sometimes might seem as if we're not. In other words, your best right now is not going to look like what your best looked like before the pandemic, and that's totally normal. You have to forgive yourself and move forward because ultimately this is like a learning process. This is a learning experience. You don't have to get I this is what I tell myself. I'm like, I can't get too caught up with all these unrealistic expectations. I know like a lot of people have done pretty cool things in these times. People have started their own businesses and they've done amazing things, and that shouldn't make me feel bad because I myself am doing the best I can with the circumstances that I'm in. And everyone's experience is different. And just being patient with what you can do in these given moments is key. Number three, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I'm studying to become an industrial and organizational psychologist. And a big part of this career is to know how certain environments affect human behavior. And this can be specific to like a workplace, a school, and even hospitals. Just acknowledging that the physical environment I'm in undoubtedly affects my mental and emotional condition is important because although I don't have much control over where I'm at the moment, I try my best to do simple things that can help me through just being stuck at home. Like I try my best to keep my room clean, be more organized with my work, and doing these small things help my mental health. And I know it might sound silly, but when I'm feeling down or feeling like unmotivated, having a clean space helps me get back on track. Or sometimes not even that. Sometimes it just makes me feel less overwhelmed. And honestly, that's a win. Yeah, so just keeping my room clean is one of the few things I do have control over. And knowing that makes me feel more grounded, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the third piece of advice is be mindful of the space you're in. Know that it can affect you. And if you're able to organize it, do so and observe how it influences your behavior and your emotions. And that concludes this episode. I hope that this helps you in some sort of way. I know this was short because, I just wanted to create something that was straightforward for the sake of bringing comfort during these times. I want you to consider me a friend who wants the best for you and who's rooting for you. Just know that I'm proud of you and I'm wishing you the best always. Take a deep breath and remember that you're exactly where you need to be. Thank you for spending this time with me. And until next time.